All right, welcome to another challenge lab for the course AZ-104 administering Azure. And in this one, we're going to take a look at routing tables. So what we want to do here is that all of the traffic between two separate subnets in our VNet are routed through a firewall virtual appliance. And we're going to use IP forwarding on the virtual appliance and then routing tables to make sure that that actually happens. So as our first task, what we're supposed to do is taking a look at the IP addresses that have that our virtual machines have, and these have been pre-created by the lab environment. So we want to find the public IP address, this one of VM2, right? So that's the second one. Take that one. And then, we didn't take it. And then similarly, VM3, which is this one. All right, we're going to need these later. So next up, we're going to take a look at the front end routing table. So let's look for route tables over here, and then create. And we're supposed to put this into our resource group over here. And it's supposed to be in East US, that's correct. And we're supposed to name it the app frontend routing table. And we don't want to enable gateway route propagation. All right, that's done. So let's go to the routing table, and then let's add a route over here. And this route goes to the backend, right? The destination type here is basically an IP address set. And the IP address set that we want to route to is 10.1.1.0/24. Then the next hop, so basically this is the network appliance that we want to forward the traffic to. It's going to be a virtual appliance. It's going to have the address 10.1.255.4. Okay, so now we have created our routing table. Now we can associate that with a subnet. And the subnet that we want to associate this to is the front-end subnet. Well, that's done. Let's verify. And we did everything correct. Marvelous. So then let's do this for the backend as well, right? So all we need to do is go back to route tables and create another one. In our resource group in East US, and we want to call this one the app backend routing table, and we don't want to propagate gateway routes. All right, that's done. So similarly as with the previous routing table, we want to add a route here, and this time the route is from the backend, so it is to the front end. Destination type is again some IP addresses. The CIDR range is going to be 10.1.0.0/24. Next up type again is going to be the virtual appliance, and it's still in 10.1.255.4. Right, that's done, and then let's associate this with the backend subnet. All right, so now I have our routes under control. So any traffic that goes from the front end to the back end will go via our virtual appliance. And similarly, any traffic that goes from the back end to the front end will go via that appliance as well. So next up, what we need to ensure or configure is that the virtual appliance itself can do IP forwarding. Opening up a Cloud Shell here, we don't need a storage account. All right, let's SSH into that instance. Password. And what we need to do here is enable IP forwarding. So the way that we do that in a Linux system is sudo followed by sysctl. Let me just put this to the top. -w net.ipv4.ip forward equals 1. Right? So we're changing that kernel parameter. Great, so that's done. So now the environment knows how to, that it needs to forward packages if they are not meant for itself. We need to go back to, well, let me check. Verify this. And I should have left this open. All right, so then let's SSH into the second virtual machine. This is the IP address. And then we need the password. Let's update. So sudo apt-get update. Let's install traceroute here. So once this is done, sudo apt-get install traceroute. Right. So now what we can do is check that the traffic to virtual machine 1 actually goes via the appliance. You can see it does. It first goes to VM3, which is the 10.1.255.4, and only after that it actually goes to the target. So that's everything for this lab. So you saw how we created 2 routing tables. One defining that the traffic from the front end to the back end needs to go via a virtual appliance. Similarly, we created another route that decided that the traffic from the back end to the front end needs to go via the same appliance. We associated those route tables with the traffic source. So the front end to back end routing table is in the front end subnet, and then the backnet to front end routing table is in the backnet subnet. Then we set up IP forwarding in the appliance, like just on a kernel level. And then we SSH'd into the front end machine, and then we could see using traceroute that the traffic is actually first going to the appliance before getting itself to the backend instance. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next lab.